Hi everybody. Today I'm going to give you what I promised, which is some talk about Norman Cousins' book, Anatomy of an Illness, which I just found out is a film from 1984 as well, which I'm really curious about. I plan to watch that. So, Norman Cousins was diagnosed with, I'm going to try and say this, it's very difficult, ankylosing spondylitis, which is an arthritis of large joints and the spine. And I think I understand it to be a narrowing of the passageways that the nerves go through, and that's part of the pain. If I'm right, I could be wrong. But in his book, he describes how he cured himself using laughter. And it's not just laughter, but he did a lot of research. But I just want to say, he made sure that every day he was belly laughing. Candid camera, if you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, you know what candid camera is. If you're younger than that, you may not know the original candid camera, and I highly recommend you go look for it because it was incredible, and it involved a lot of kids, and it was hilarious. So, and these were pranks, but very clean pranks. They never hurt anybody. They didn't hurt people's feelings. It was all done in really good feeling. The other thing he watched was the Marx Brothers. That would be Groucho Marx, Harpo Marx, all the Marxes. Also, physical comedy is what they're known for. And they were kind of clowns, back in the day. And they did a lot of films. And that was his style. He liked slapstick. And he liked the style of candid camera. And he knew that those particular things would give him a belly laugh, which, when we're talking about humor, the deeper the laugh, the belly laugh, gives you more oxygen, a core workout. You get all the good endorphins. You get good endorphins from giggling too, by the way. You get serotonin, oxytocin, dopamine, and endorphins. And all of those raise your vibration and make you happier. So he also used high doses of vitamin C. Now, I'm no doctor, so don't be going out running, doing things like, because I said it. Go do your own research. But the reason I'm here making this video now is to share some quotes that he shared in his book at the end. And I want to read some of these to you because I think they're incredibly valuable. So the first quote is, and this is from Norman speaking about these people, because he happened to work directly with Albert Schweitzer and has a lot in the book about how Albert Schweitzer also used music and humor in his daily activities and practice. So according to Norman Cousins, Albert Schweitzer employed humor as a form of equatorial therapy, a way of reducing the temperatures and the humidity and the tensions. His use of humor, in fact, was so artistic that one had the feeling that he almost regarded it as a musical instrument. How interesting, right? He had good timing. He knew he wasn't hurting anyone. He knew how to use humor. Another quote is, "The Bible tells us that a merry heart works like a doctor." Well, the neurology science today is catching up with that being true. There's a lot that happens, lowering blood pressure, lowering cortisol, these things that happen when we laugh. It's amazing. Another one, Robert Burton, in his Anatomy of Melancholy, almost 400 years ago, cited authorities for his observation that humor purges the blood, making the blood lively, making the body lively and fit for any manner of employment. In general, Burton said mirth is the principal engine for battering the walls of melancholy and a sufficient cure in itself. Hobbes described laughter as a passion of sudden glory. I mean, again, we're talking about humor being healing, which we are proving. And as a laughter yogi, the science is there. And as a spiritual person talking about raising our vibrations, that also counts. I feel, it's my feeling, I mean, that when we laugh and when we get those chemicals going, we are at a higher vibration. Coping with laughter through difficulty raises our vibration to cope easier with those chemicals, because we get all the good chemicals and the cortisol and the blood pressure go down. You're doing good for your body and you're healing anyway. Sigmund Freud, believe it or not, believed that mirth was a highly useful way of counteracting nervous tension, and that humor could be used as an effective therapy. How about that? I mean, and so a book I'm going to look up that he mentions is Max Eastman's Enjoyment of Laughter. I'm imagining, because some of this stuff was, he published his book in the 80s. It took him decades, actually, after he healed himself, to publish his book. And I think some of the books and some of the things that he refers to are pretty old. But isn't it amazing when you understand that science hadn't quite caught up yet, and now here we are with the neurology being proven that laughter on purpose, laughter for the health of it, is giving you the same chemicals as if you watched an episode of Seinfeld and belly laughed for 30 minutes. If you do laughter yoga, you get the same benefits than if you found something funny. And so our coping strategies are so important so that we learn to find the funny. And there's a debate on exactly who said it, so I'm not going to try and guess, but it could be Charlie Chaplin, could be Carol Burnett, it could be somebody way earlier said, comedy is tragedy plus time. So in the moment when things are very difficult, we all have our feelings, and it's important to have our feelings. But things get easier when you can look back on what was a tragedy and find the humor in it. That helps us cope. So if you're struggling and you're not feeling great and you are fun challenged or joy challenged or happy challenged at the moment, please find a program that works for you, that gives you a lighthearted feeling, that belly laughs. And one of the prescriptions, one would say, that I've heard people talk about is if you are watching a program that's funny and you're kind of going, or you're laughing in your head, make a point to belly laugh louder, harder, on purpose, because you're going to get more chemicals faster, you're going to get more out of it in the beneficial side of things. So, highly recommended. And if someone managed to heal themselves of an arthritic, painful process through laughter and some vitamins, then that's also telling us something. So I'm just going to leave you with some more things. Another book, The White's Sub-Treasury of American Humor. This is Norman suggesting a friend of his to look up more on humor. So he mentions names like Stephen Leacock, Leacock, and Ogden Nash, and James Thurber, and Ludwig Bemelmans. And then Max Eastman's Enjoyment of Laughter, and the White's Sub-Treasury of American Humor. Now, I will say there are a lot more books published now There's The Laughter Effect by Ben-Moshe. She's a cancer survivor and a laughter yogi. And she writes about how she went through her cancer process, chemo and everything, and surgery, using laughter and how it helped her. And Impossible to Possible is Sue Stevenson. She had a benign brain tumor. She talks about how humor helped her. And it goes on and on. Paul Osincup has written a book that just came out called The Humor Habit. Highly recommended. And yeah, so the science is coming out. We have a choice. We have a choice to work toward what raises our vibration and brings us to points where we feel happier, or we go down those dark rabbit holes. And when you start going down those dark rabbit holes, think about it. Try and stop the process. Watch something funny. My go-to right now is I Love Lucy. I'm a huge fan. I love her work. She makes me laugh. I've seen these episodes 100 times. I don't care. I continue to watch. And if you really want a belly laugh, then find the I Love Lucy and Harpo Marx episode, because you won't believe it. It's absolutely incredible. So there it is, Norman Cousins. The book is Anatomy of an Illness. I hope you check it out. If you don't, that's okay. If you don't want to check that out, then I'll have links to the other books I mentioned in the notes. And if I forget something, leave me a note and I will find it for you. If you have questions, please ask and I will respond. And yeah, so I hope you have a wonderful day. And if you like this channel, please subscribe, like, hit the notification button so you know when I make a new video, and share with your friends. Thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful day. See you tomorrow.